Okay, so what makes this a good result structure, or at least what makes it clearly a result as opposed to a discussion? This firstly is a quantitative example, which should be clear from the statistics here. On that basis, something that's very, very important that a results chapter does, particularly when it's quantitative, is that it's precise and it avoids vagueness. So for example, saying something like, most participants said this, that certainly in a quantitative results chapter isn't clear enough. You need something more specific, so some sort of statistical, something quantifiable. And so that's what they've done here. So it's very, because it's quantitative, very stats driven, it's very stats heavy, but it's clear, there's no vagueness in it, it's perfectly clear what the reader's saying. Notice I've put here narrative descriptive account. So it is descriptive, it doesn't really do anything with these results. All it's saying is this is what the results show. So it's factual in that respect, but it is a narrative. Sometimes it's a temptation because it's very sort of process driven, very statistical in this example, very factual, very descriptive. There's a temptation to not really narrate and walk your reader through the information, but you still need to do that. I've just highlighted one word here, conversely, which we call a transitional device. It's a very broad group of words or phrases that basically help to move the reader along from one position to the next. You know, we use them in everyday life all the time, such as however, therefore. They serve different purposes, of course. And this one, they're trying to show some sense of contradiction. They're trying to show how that this showed something, but this showed something different. And this is important. Just these little transitional devices here and there, that little bit of narration, it just helps to guide the reader along. They can't be expected to fill in those sort of what I call narrative gaps. Those sort of cognitive connections need to be made by you, the writer. There's tables and figures, or there's a table here. I've not included the table in it, but there's a reference to the table. So that table should be accompanied by a caption, which is a little descriptive bit of text above or below, which explains what the table shows. The first sentences in the paragraphs are always important in any piece of writing, but in a results and discussion, they're very, very important. And they're very, very important because the results, the first sentence of a results paragraph or a discussion paragraph indicates very, very clearly, or it should do, what the focus of this paragraph is. And when you're walking the reader through lots of information, statistical or quotes or whatever it might be, you really need to get the signposting clear and right. So this is a nice clear example of a results. Like I said, it's narrative, it's descriptive, it doesn't interpret the information, it's clear to the reader what this is about. There's tables and figures, there's precision, there's no vagueness,